Yes.
Perhaps Lordships. Lordship, I beg to mention item 49 on behalf of Mr. Tali Au for the petitioner. Lordship is not keeping well, so the matter come up of 3 weeks, Lordship.
Okay.
49.
Mention is made on behalf of Mr. Taliao,
Lordship.
learned counsel for the petitioner, praying for adjournment. Has the consent been taken?
No
Yes,
objection.
yes.
With the consent of the opposite party. In view of the above, list this matter after
3 weeks, Lordship.
3
3.
weeks.
Obliged, my Lord.
Yeah, please, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, I beg to mention on item number 21.
Yes.
Kindly list the matter after 2 weeks.
Heard Miss
SK
SKGE, learned counsel for the petitioner, who has prayed for adjournment of the matter for 2 weeks. In view of the above, list this matter after 2 weeks.
Much obliged.
Yes.
May I please, my lord? Lordship, I beg to mention item number 23 and 24.
Yes.
In this matter, the pleadings are completed. If this matter can be listed after a week, my lord.
Heard Mr. N.
Angami, Lordship.
Learned counsel for the learned government advocate for the state respondents, who mentions that pleadings are complete in this matter and that this matter may be listed for admission hearing. Mr. T.C. Zamir, learned senior advocate for the petitioner, is present. In view of the above, list this matter for admission hearing after 1 week.
Deeply obliged, my lord.
May it please, my lord, I may be allowed to make a mention for item 39. My lord, the affidavit in reply to the affidavit in opposition filed by respondents 4, 5, 6, and 7 is under drafting, my lord. As such, 3 weeks may kindly be granted to file my affidavit in reply.
Okay, Mr. Tensi Yagar,
My lord.
learned counsel for the petitioner, has prayed for time for filing of his affidavit in reply to the affidavit in opposition filed by the respondents. In view of the above, list this matter after
3 weeks, my
3
lord.
weeks.
My lord,
Lord,
obliged.
I bring on behalf of private respondent
Okay.
4 to 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Just before that, you can mention Mr.
Apakin Richabo.
Apikeno Chabo appears on behalf of respondents number 4,
4, 5, 6, and 7.
6, and 7. In view of the above, list this matter. Yes.
Obliged, my lord.
Lordship, I'm back to mention item number 46 for orders. Lordship, on the last occasion, I have withdrawn from the case, Lordship. However, my name has been reflected. If my name may be deleted, Lordship.
Okay. Mr.
More Jamir, Lordship.
Moy Jamir, learned counsel, mentions that he has withdrawn from appearing for the petitioner in this case in the last court date. However, his name is still reflected in the cause list, and he prays that his name may be deleted. In view of the above, registry, not to mention the name of Mr. Moy Zamir as the learned counsel for the petitioner.
For this moment.
Mr. Mr.
Foseko.
Foseko Forte appears on behalf of respondent number 1. List this matter after 3 weeks.
Lordship. Much obliged.
Lordship, I also beg to mention item number 38, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Yes, Your Lordship, I'm here to file my counter affidavit. If 3 weeks' time can kindly be granted to me, Your Lordship.
Okay. Mr. Nangami, learned government advocate for the state respondents, have prayed for 3 weeks' time for filing of their counter affidavit. In view of the above, list this matter after 3 weeks.
Deeply obliged, my lord.
May it please, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, I beg to mention item number 30 and 32, Your Lordship, from the analogous matter, Your Lordship.
30,
32, Your Lordship.
30 and
Analogous
32.
matter. Yes, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Lordship, here we're yet to file a Vagalatama, Your Lordship.
Okay, these matters
Yes, Your
have
Lordship.
been all listed along with item number 26.
Yes, Your Lordship. Analogous matters, Your Lordship.
Yes. Okay, so, Mr.
I'm sorry, Your Lordship.
N. Saroi, learned counsel for the
Respondents, Your
respondents afraid for time for
Yes, Your
filing
Lordship.
of their affidavit in opposition. This will be in matter, item number 30 and 32. What about the other, this thing? Matters 26, 27, 28, they have all been filed together?
Your Lordship, item number 26 to 36 analogous matter.
Yes. So we'll await for filing of affidavit in opposition, isn't it?
Lordship.
Lordship.
Yes. In all these matters, the learned counsels for the petitioners have, for the respondents have prayed for time for filing of their affidavit in opposition. This is matter after 3 weeks.
3 weeks, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, I also beg to mention item number 40, Your Lordship.
4-0.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Your Lordship, here we are yet to file our affidavit in reply, Your Lordship, to the affidavit filed by the state as well as the private respondents, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, if 3 weeks time be given, Your Lordship.
May I please your ladyship?
Yes.
I am for the private respondents 4 to 16 in item 40, 41, and 42. Your lordship, I filed my affidavit in opposition on 31st of January. Now it is 24th April, nearly 3 months. And they are still praying for time for filing affidavit in reply. 3 months to file affidavit in reply is more than sufficient.
Okay. We'll
So-
give them some more time anyway.
So
Sir.
my respectful submission, my lord, if this honorable court is willing to give another grace period of one week, fine. Otherwise, 3 months to file affidavit in reply is more than sufficient, and I have not objected. Last 3 months. So my respectful submission, if they are praying for time, let it be as last chance for a week, and the matter can be listed for admission hearing next week. In the absence of filing their affidavit in reply by then, the matter should be heard and buried without affidavit in replies.
Yes.
Your Lordship, if last time chance
3
be
months
given,
is
Your Lordship.
enough.
Last chance be given and 3 weeks be given, Your Lordship, for filing our affidavit.
We'll make it 2 weeks.
Lordship.
Let come midway. Okay. Heard Mr.
I'm sorry, Your Lordship.
M. Solo along with Mr. Yes, your good name, please. Along with.
I'm Takamasa for the private respondents.
Okay, along with Mr. Takamasa, learned counsel for the private respondents. Mr. M. Solo, learned counsel for the petitioner, has prayed for further time for filing of their reply to their affidavit in opposition, which is objected by Mr. Takamasa, learned counsel for the private respondents, mentioning that ample time has been given to the respondents for filing
petitioners.
of, to the petitioners for filing of their affidavit in opposition.
Reply, affidavit in replies.
Affidavit in reply to the affidavit in opposition filed by the respondents, and that a final chance may be given. In view of the above,
Lordship may kindly fix the case for admission hearing in the second week.
let them this thing first, file their affidavit in reply first, okay? The learned counsel for the petitioner is given 2 weeks' time for filing of the affidavit in reply, failing which this matter may be listed for admission hearing. List this matter after 2 weeks.
Lordship may kindly give us a date because the counsel for petitioner, Mr. S.S. Day, is outstation.
Is there outstation?
Yes.
Yes. Do you want a date? When will he be available?
Lordship, may I pray that the matter may be listed either on 8 or 9th of, 8 is Monday.
Your Lordship, on 16, Your Lordship.
16? No.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So when if it's 2 weeks, give us a date
Yes, Your
within
Lordship.
2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, it will be which date?
Your Lordship, date 11, Your Lordship. Thursday, Your Lordship.
11th?
Yes, Your Lordship.
Okay.
Lordship, because Friday again will be, usually Friday court may not be regular and we would like to finish the case at that stretch. So let it be on Monday or Tuesday. Because Thursday means Friday may not be effective hearing, then the matter may remain part-heard.
Lordship, Tuesday, Your Lordship.
Pardon?
Tuesday, Your Lordship.
Tuesday,
Deadline, Your
what's
Lordship.
Tuesday?
9, Your Lordship.
9th.
9 of May, Your Lordship.
Okay. As prayed for, list this matter on 9th 5/2023.
Lordship, making it clear, please make it
I've
clear.
passed the order.
Please make it clear that in the absence of filing affidavit, the matter will be
I
heard.
have passed the order. Yeah, I have passed. Yes.
May I please, Your Lordship? Lordship, I beg to mention item number 43, Lordship.
43.
Yes.
Yes.
On behalf of the Viga, Lordship. Lordship, kindly grant me 4 weeks' time to file my affidavit, Lordship.
On the prayer made on behalf of the respondents,
Lordship.
state respondents, for yet another date for filing of their counter affidavit. List this matter after
After 4 weeks, Lordship.
4 weeks.
Lordship, I also beg to mention item number 44, Lordship, on behalf of IEME, Lordship. Kindly grant me 3 weeks' time, Lordship.
Okay, Ms. So-and-so, praise time. Further time for filing of their counter affidavit. In view of the above, list this matter after
3 weeks, Lordship.
3 weeks. Yes.
Lordship,
33, 34, what about 35? Same prayer?
43, 44, and 45.
Okay, 43, 44, and 45, same prayer. Okay, after 3 weeks.
Obliged, Lordship.
May I please, Your Lordship? Your Lordship, I beg to mention item number 7, Your Lordship.
7,
Yes, Your Lordship.
yes.
Your Lordship, here the pleadings have been completed, Your Lordship. If the matter can be listed after 2 weeks for admission hearing, Your Lordship.
Who's appearing for
Your
the?
Lordship, we have taken consent from the opposite party,
Okay.
Your Lordship.
Heard Mr. M. Solo, learned counsel for the petitioner, who mentions that pleadings are complete and that this matter may be listed for admission hearing. The consent of the the consent of the respondents have also been taken. In view of the above, list this matter after
2 weeks, Your Lordship.
2 weeks for admission hearing.
Much obliged.
Mr. Lordship, Your Lordship, I beg to mention item number 20. Since the State Council is in the other court, Your Lordship, if this matter can be fixed on 27th, that is on Thursday.
What is the stage?
All the pleadings have been completed, Your Lordship. Now, the petitioner is seeking for pension and pensioner benefits. Petitioner's late husband.
So will it list it for admission hearing on Monday?
Yes, 27, if it may be fixed.
Let's make it on a Monday, okay? On Thursday,
Yes,
I
Your
have
Lordship.
ample matters.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Heard Miss
Our Atla Kips.
R. Achla Kips, learned counsel for the petitioner, who mentions that this matter may be listed for admission hearing in the next day. In view of the above, list this matter on, what's Monday? What's the date?
First,
Yes,
First-
1/5/2023.
I oblige.
For motion, item number 1.
May I please, Ladyship?
Yes,
Ladyship, I am seeking for consideration of my appointment on compassionate grounds as per the standing government policy for compassionate appointment for those government employees who die in harness as per the OM dated 17/9/2015.
yes.
And I've just one limited prayer, Lordship, to consider my application and on compassionate grounds. My father was working as a painter helper at BWD Housing, Tuensang Division. And he died in harness on 19th May 2020. And accordingly, as per the OM, basing on the OM, I filed an application to consider my case for appointment in the resultant vacancy of my father or any other vacancy that might be available in the department for grade C or grade D posts. And accordingly, my application was forwarded by the authority forwarding letter, which is at annexure I, page 24. This is the forwarding of application. However, till date, no action has been taken or no positive response has been forthcoming. So accordingly, again, on 14/3/2023, I made a representation along with application. However, the application is at annexure J, page 26 of my petition. But no response. So I'm
Okay.
aggrieved by that.
Will issue notice?
Lordship,
Yes.
if that's my limited prayer, so
Yes.
the petition along with my application can be disposed of at this stage. Just to consider my application within a
Yes.
time frame.
Lordship, beside Office Memorandum dated 17 September 2017, there is also another addendum dated 9 April 2019. Insertions of para 1 which said, compassionate appointment by the Crop C and D post under the scheme shall be strictly in order of date, and first preference shall always be given against those who have died earlier and who fulfill all other eligibility criteria. So
No
Lordship, can
problem,
we
Lordship.
Okay,
allow
will
the
issue
text of
notice.
instruction?
We'll hear
Lordship,
this matter in the next
my
date. Yes.
my prayer is just that to direct the respondents to just consider my application.
Oh.
If I'm found eligible and as per the addendum, they can consider my case.
You see, while we're issuing notice, okay, it may so happen that they'll respond promptly also, isn't it?
I'll leave it to you, Lordship.
Yes. Heard Mr. Tosi
Olongkumar.
Olongkumar, learned counsel for the petitioner, who submits that he has made this application and this Article 226 of the Constitution of India for issuance of the appropriate writ against the respondents for his appointment on compassionate grounds as per the notification of the state respondents via compassionate appointment scheme dated 17/9/2015 in place of the resultant vacancy caused by the demise of his late father, who was appointed as work charge painter helper under the establishment of executive engineer, PWD, within brackets housing, division number 1, Kohima. That he has made representations for his compassionate appointment, vide his representation dated 11 June 2020 and 14th March 2023. However, till date, he has not received any reply to his representations. That the instant writ is confined only to his representation being considered.
Lordship may also kindly mention addendum dated 9 April 2019.
Pardon?
As part of this addendum, the department should also consider this, the petitioner case. To issue notice, as part addendum dated 9 April 2019.
Where's that? Is
Lordship,
it
may
here?
kindly log with the place.
Okay. Issue notice, Miss
Pichano.
Pichano, learned government advocate, accepts notice on behalf of the state respondents. No need to issue any formal notice. Okay, the learned government advocate, yes, give me. has brought to the notice of this court the addendum dated 9th April 2019, issued by the Government of Nagaland Personal and Administrative Reforms Department, within bracket, Administrative Reforms Branch, which is with regards to compassionate appointment scheme for government employees who die in harness and addendum thereof. So you don't need time for receiving instructions.
Yes.
You're okay with this? Okay. Then we'll dispose it of today itself. Okay.
Yes.
As per the said notification dated 9th April 2019, it mentions that the following conditions are added under the compassionate appointment scheme. Number one, compassionate appointment made to Group C and D post under this scheme shall be strictly in order of date of death, and first preference shall always be given against those who have died earlier and who fulfills all other eligible criteria. Then number two, the responsibility of completing application forms of the next kin of the deceased shall be with the department as per the prescribed format. The learned government advocate submits that the compassionate appointment of the petitioner may be considered in line with the addendum notification dated 9th April 2019. Having heard the submissions made by both the parties and in view of the limited prey which has been made by the petitioner, this court find it fit to dispose of this writ petition with a direction that the representations made by the petitioner dated 11 June 2020 and 14th 3 2023 should be considered and be disposed of with a speaking order within 3 weeks from the date of receipt of the certified copy of this order. Accordingly, with the above directions, WPC so-and-so stands disposed. Yes.
Are you pledged?
Obliged, Your Ladyship.
For admission, item number 2 to 4.
Yes.
May it please your lordship. Lordship, this matter actually we have challenged the validity and legality of RC 10 of 2017 lordship initiated by the then Vigilance Commission against the present petitioner's lordship. So the matter was actually heard at length on so many occasions, lordship. And on the last occasion,
Heard at length on many occasions.
yes, lordship,
Okay, then.
on 28/11/22, then on 2/12/22, lordship, the matter was heard properly and it was extensively. And at that time, lordship, learned additional AG, he has been asked to obtain instruction in this matter, lordship. And on last occasion, lordship, again, lordship has directed to take steps against the respondent number 5, lordship,
Yes.
which has already been taken, lordship.
Respondent number 5 is Lokayukta, Nagaland. Anyone appearing? Who is the counsel for the respondent number 5? Last date it was said that service of notice is to be taken. Now, as per the
Earlier,
office
Lordship,
note,
M.
wait.
Mujoi, he was actually appearing, and on last occasion, I think his retainership has not been continued, Lordship. That's why he is not appearing.
Now, notice, service of notice is done, isn't it? Now, after that, we have to wait for the return of the
As your
service of
Lordship.
notice, isn't it? So
As
we'll
your Lordship.
wait for the AD card, return of the AD card.
Lordship, as a Lordship.
Do you want to issue fresh notice or no need? When was
On
this?
23rd, Lordship
Okay,
directed,
recent.
and accordingly we have taken
Yes,
steps,
that's a
Lordship.
recent one.
Yes, Lordship.
So we will wait for some response from respondent number
Lordship.
5. Isn't it? Yes. Heard Miss
M. Bhattacharjee.
M. Bhattacharjee. Your name is not there in the cause list?
In the cause list, it is not reflected, Lordship, but in the it is there.
Heard Miss M. Bhattacharjee, learned counsel for the petitioner, who mentions that they have taken steps for service of notice upon respondent number 5. However, it is seen that none has appeared for the respondent number 5. That is Nagaland Lokayukta. Isn't it? Yes.
Lord.
Mr.
Imtienso.
Imtienso
Respondent number 1.
appear on behalf of respondent number 1. So you are for respondent number 1.
Yeah, is that
No one is
respondents?
appearing for respondent number 5. Who is 2, 3, 4?
Now, 2, 3, 4, they're all vigilance, Lokayuta.
Okay. So they are not required to be appear. Okay. Yes. In view of the above, we will await for return of notice served upon the respondents number 5. List this matter after 3 weeks.
As your Lordship pleases.
3 weeks.
3 weeks or 4 weeks, Lordship.
3 weeks.
For admission,
The
item number
other
5.
two also similar, Lordship. These are all
Yes,
been
yes,
tagged
all
with this.
analogous cases,
Lordship.
2, 3, and 4. The same order. Yes.
Deeply obliged, your Lordship.
45. Sorry, item number 5.
May I please, Lordship?
Yes.
My Lord, may I draw your Lordship's attention to page 13, advertisement, my Lord, advertisement, NHA. Page 13. NHA, ABC, A. Page 13, my Lord.
1, 3.
Yes, 1-3.
Yes.
This is the advertisement, my Lord. Dated Directorate of Social Welfare, dated 3 February 2019. Advertisement. Applications are invited from bona fide indigenous inhabitant of Nagaland for filling up of the following posts under Rashtriya Poshan Abhiyan, Department of Social Welfare, Nagaland. The post, serial number post. 1. Consultant planning and monitoring and evaluation. 2. Consultant health and nutrition. This is the post we are contesting.
Oh, health and nutrition.
Health and nutrition.
Okay.
3. Consultant financial management. 4. Consultant capacity building and BCC. 5. Consultant procurement. These are the 5 posts to be recruited as consultant against the centrally sponsored scheme.
Yes.
Then 6, accountant, project associate. Then B, district level. The above is directorate level, the below is district level. These are not relevant in present case. Then the clauses of the terms and conditions of the advertisement. Note 1. The standard application forms can be collected from Directorate of Social Welfare on payment of ₹10 from 4th to 8 February 2019 during office hours.
Yes.
2. Duly filled forms can be submitted to the Directorate of Social Welfare on payment of ₹300 from 11th to 13th February 2019 during office hours. So the last date of submission for forms is 13th February 2019. 3. Incomplete forms and documents shall be summarily rejected, and no separate intimation/call letters for this will be issued. 4. Admit card will be issued at the time of submission of application form. 5. No application will be entertained after the last date, that is 13 February 2019. 6. The advertised posts are purely on contractual basis for a period of 1 year and is likely to be extended from time to time based on the performance and the continuation of the mission. The project is still continuing, therefore this extension has been given in respect of all other posts. 7. Age limit. Then 7A, candidates applying for item A, serial number 1 to 5, 45 to 60. Here, the case of present petitioner falls under this. B, age limit for the remaining post. Now 8, I'll skip the 8. 9, candidate applying for item number A, serial number 1 to 5. A walk-in interview will be conducted, for which date and time will be notified separately. For the interview, that separate notification is required in our case. Consultants post, all 1 to 5. 10, a candidate can apply for only one post. 11, the mode of selection will be in written, oral, and computer proficiency. 12, date and venue for the examination will be notified separately. 13, duration of written examination 2 hours. Next page, my lord, 1.4.
Yes.
Clause, terms and conditions, clause 14, 1.4. Mode of examination, general English, general knowledge, and specified subjects mentioned in the essential qualification requirements. 15 is relevant, my lord.
Okay.
All documents, including educational certificates, work experience certificate, birth certificate, scheduled tribe certificate, indigenous inhabitant certificate, unemployment registration card, duly self-attested, along with 2 recent passport photographs, should be enclosed while submitting the application form. Within bracket, candidates applying for item A, serial number 1 to 5, need not submit unemployment registration card. That is in respect of petitioner and all 5 consultant posts, because we are all ex-servicemen.
Okay.
After retirement only, we were engaged as consultant to guide. So therefore, the only exemption clause is that in respect of item 1 to 5 consultant post, we don't need to submit unemployment registration card. Otherwise, all the application, all from everything is same. There's no exemption in respect of all other things. 16, the state government employees are required to furnish no objection certificate duly signed by the head of the department indicating the date of initial appointment of the candidate. 17, 18. My lord, why I'm trying to draw lordship's attention to this advertisement is, once advertisement is out, terms and conditions will follow. Terms and all the terms and conditions contained in the advertisement will follow. That become the criteria. That become the rules for the particular examination. So now, going by this advertisement, the terms and conditions laid down from 1 to 15, there is no clause, exemption clause, where it says that for the post of consultants from 1 to 5, they should not submit application applying for the post. There's no exemption clause for that. Meaning thereby, all of us, even in respect of the post starting from serial number 1 to 5 also, we also should apply.
Okay.
All of us. Because
yes,
lordship is very clear now. When I have read out, there is no exemption clause that we should not apply. We should apply. The only exemption in respect of posts from 1 to 5, consultant posts, is that we don't need to furnish unemployment card, registration card, because we are all ex-servicemen. So therefore, we all applied as a consultant for the department for at least for a year or till the central scheme continues. And that is still continuing, therefore all are in service. Now, my lord, I'm just lowering. So I believe I have cleared to lordship about the terms and conditions of the advertisement.
Yes.
So if that is the case, whether it is private respondent number 7, the present case, or me, for that, all of us have to apply. Without application, no one can be entertained calling for interview, because criteria of the advertisement. That is the rules of the game, my lord. So therefore, now, and this, my lord, another point, this advertisement was issued in the name of director, my lord. Director, if lordship come back to page 14,
Yes.
the authority issued that advertisement means director. One Mr. T. Merang Tungba Ayer, director. And now the interview board members are different. So once the conditions are laid down in the advertisement by the competent authority, the board members, interview board members, they are bound to follow the terms and conditions issued by the competent authority who have issued this advertisement, my lord. Now in the present case, my lord, lordship, it's a short application only. Coming back to page 3, I'll just read out the factual position, my lord. I'll just hurriedly make the lordship to understand. Now the case of the petitioner is this, my lord, that private respondent 7 has never ever applied for the post. Then how can he be called for interview? And admittedly, affidavit filed by the interview board member from serial number 5, 4 to 6 also have admitted that yes, this fellow did not apply. Even the private respondent 7, in his own affidavit also, he has admitted that I don't need to apply. I don't, because it is a walk-in interview. Whether it is a walk-in interview or not, when the advertisement says, collect the form from the office, terms and condition number 1, submit your application with 300 rupees. Lordship, coming back to page 13.
Yes. Yes, I've got your point.
Yes. So if that is the case, since, as I said, my lord, since there is no exemption clause in the advertisement, all the intending candidate, whoever wanted to apply and face the interview, they have to submit the application. So in the present case, the private respondent 7 had never ever applied, had never set examination, and he was issued appointment. This is the case, my lord. So, my lord, I'm coming to, my lord, page 3. Short facts only, my lord.
Yes.
Paragraph 1. That your humble petitioner is a citizen of India and a resident of New Ministers Hill, Kohima, Nagaland. By filing this instant petition, the petitioner is assailing the impugned appointment order of the private number 7 for the post of consultant within bracket health and nutrition, issued by the Directorate of Social Welfare, Government of Nagaland, by number so and so, dated 25 October 2019. The case of the petitioner is that he was the lone candidate who applied for the post of consultant. Lone candidate, no other candidate who applied for consultant nutrition. Under the Director of Social Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima, and that he was the only candidate who appeared for the interview also. However, the private number 7, who was neither an applicant nor appeared for the interview for the post of consultant health and nutrition, was appointed to the post by fraud. As I said, my lord, they have manipulated the record, committed fraud, and appointed private number 5, who had never applied, never faced the interview. This is my case, my lord. And the private number 7, as well as board member, have admitted in the affidavit that he doesn't need to apply. I'll come to that, my lord. Paragraph 2. That the short facts of the present case is that petitioner has an educational qualification of MA, History, Archaeology, Social Sciences. He is a retired government servant as Vice Principal in 2019, which was equivalent to the rank of Deputy Director. During his service career, he had served as a senior lecturer for 16 years and also as Vice Principal, District Institute for Education and Training, in brevity DIET, under SCERT, State Council of Education Research Center Department. While in government service, the petitioner had involved in conducting community awareness program for the upliftment of primary education, where health and nutrition comes under the program. Thus, he has enough working experience for the job. 3. That the Directorate of Social Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima, wide advertisement number so and so 3/2/19 invited application from bona fide indigenous inhabitants of Nagaland for filling up of one post of consultant, health and nutrition, and other 120 posts under Rashtriya Poshan Abhiyan under the Department of Social Welfare, which is a centrally sponsored scheme project. The last date of submission of form was 13/2/19. The mode of selection for the post of consultant was through walk-in interview. The age limit was 45 to 60. My lord, I have read out the advertisement, so I'll not repeat the nature. 4. That pursuant to the advertisement dated 3/2/19, the petitioner being qualified for the post of consultant applied for the same on the last date of submission of application, that is 13/2/2012, 19. The post of consultant appear as serial number 2 in the advertisement. Till the last date of submission of application, the petitioner was the lone candidate who applied for the post of consultant, which can be seen from the list of applicants received as on the last date of submission of applications for various posts appeared and maintained by the Director of Social Welfare. NHA B, page 17, my lord. My lord, I want to show who had applied for the post of consultant. Page 17, NHA B, my lord. My lord, here, these are the list of consultant against which these are the candidates who applied. Consultant number 1, consultant health and nutrition. So, which is this is the name of the petitioner. He is the lone candidate who applied for the post of consultant. So this and that below, this below is consultant capacity building. 3 is consultant financial. Now issued by the assistant director. This document was issued by assistant director. PIO of the directorate. So this document went to show that this is the list showing whoever had applied for the post of consultants. And I am the lone candidate who applied for the post of consultant health and nutrition, which appeared as serial number 1 in the list, my lord.
Yes.
This is what I'm trying to show. There's no other candidate. That's why I keep saying a lone candidate in the entire petition, my lord. Then coming back to paragraph 5, page 5, my lord. That on 17/9/2019, the petitioner received a phone call from the interview from the Director of Social Welfare, informing that the interview should be held on 20/9/2019 at the office of the office chamber of the director. The petitioner was asked to appear before the interview board members. As informed, the petitioner faced the interview on 20/9/2019 as a lone candidate for the post of consultant health and nutrition. The petitioner has also obtained a list of candidates who appear for interview for the post of consultant on the day of interview, where the name of private respondent Dr. Yongya Konyak Chimak was never reflected as a candidate for the oral interview. NHSC, page 18, my lord. My lord, this is the list furnished by same assistant director, and my lord, in the earlier NHR B, the post start with the consultant health and nutrition. But on the day of appearing the interview, the interview start with the post of capacity building. My post was the last calling the interview on the day of calling. In the first NHR, when they give us list of applicants submitted, applied for the post, then consultant post start first. But on the day of interview, the above other posts had been conducted interview first. Mine was the last. So therefore, in this document, the last person comes for me, health and nutrition, which is a venue petitioner. He is the lone candidate who faced the interview. And on the day of calling the names, I was the last person who entered into the interview hall also. Thereafter, no one interview was closed. So NHSC, page 18, is the list who appeared. Then coming back to para 6, page 5, my lord. That after the interview, the result was never officially published either in the newspaper or in any form, and as such, the petitioner was not informed about the result in any manner. Therefore, after I gave up 1 or 2 months out of curiosity, the petitioner went to the Office of Director of Social Welfare to inquire whether the interview result was never ever declared. To the utter surprise of petitioner, he was unofficially informed that a fresh candidate was already appointed as consultant health and nutrition. However, the office declined to furnish the appointment order to the appointee. In the affidavit filed by the respondent of 4 to 6 interview board member, they say no comment.
Okay.
And then government, the director in this case, they have chosen not to file affidavit till today. They have decided yes. In the bar, the council represents the state. He admitted that will not file affidavit. So government from respondent official from respondent 1 to 3, director, they choose not to file affidavit in this case. So that means they have admitted advertisement. Paragraph 7, page 6. That having left with no option, since result was not published, the petitioner submitted an RTI application dated 23/1/20 under RTI Act seeking the following information. 1. Interview minutes and recommendation for the post of consultant, health nutrition. 2. Mark sheet, list of name of candidate on the last date of submission application, on the day of interview, copy of the advertisement, name of the person appointed against the post. 7. I'll show my lord. That in response to the RTS application, the office of the director furnished the following information, right? Letter number so and so, dated 17/2/2020. The information were as under: 1. Interview minutes and recommendation for the post of consultant, health and nutrition. Here, my lord, not interview minutes, only recommendation was furnished. Only recommendation one. Minutes of the proceeding was never furnished. And my lord, for which I'm sorry, for that, the petitioner's counsel, out of curiosity, has prayed to the court on 21 February 2023 to call for the record, because they have never produced meeting selection proceeding minutes. Because I wanted to see, and it'll be also proper for the court to examine whether private respondent number 7 had
Have the
ever.
records come?
My lord,
Are the records produced?
record, I not produced, I believe they must have brought.
Have you brought the records? Who is supposed to bring the records?
I'm for the private respondent. The records are not with me.
So if we are to get a clear picture,
Yes,
then the state respondents will have to produce the
very much,
records.
very much. There
And
was
who is appearing for the directorate? Most probably the directorate will have to produce. That means the state respondent, the government advocate. Before going ahead,
he's coming. He's coming to the
Yes.
court. Whether he has come with the record or not.
now it is mentioned that as per this court's order dated, when was it?
21 February 2023.
21 to
February.
2023.
State government was directed to produce the record, my lord.
Is directed to produce the relevant records filed from the Directorate of Social Welfare.
Yes.
So yes, the government advocate, have you produced the records concerning the appointment? Because it is submitted that from the records kept in the directorate, it will be clear as to how the respondent number 5.
Seven.
Respondent number 7 has been appointed along with the minutes
Without application. Without
of the
application.
meeting as
Some-
to how he was appointed. So you are required to produce the records from the directorate. Is it here
Your Lordship,
available in the court? Huh?
Your Lordship,
Hmm.
on the last occasion, that is on Friday, we were dealing with this case.
Yes.
And
Yes, you had mentioned that the matter is infructuous right
that is
now.
what I was saying. And in case that my learned friend is changing the call balls, other day he was saying that the petitioner, private respondent number 7 is continuing in the office.
Okay.
The other day also I said the petitioner was appointed, private respondent number 7 was appointed on 25 date 2019, and she has resigned her post on 1/4/2021 because this is a centrally sponsored scheme under the Department of Social Welfare. The scheme, which was being sponsored by Union Ministry, was being discontinued. So accordingly, she discontinued, and the boss is no more in the department. That is why I'm saying, Your Lordship, that is why I'm saying the petition has become infructuous. Your Lordship, kindly see the prayer of the petitioner in the read petition.
See, whatever be the case, okay, now it appears that the petitioner, not in the prayer portion, but in the petitioner has
The prayer of the
challenged
petitioner, Your
the
Lordship.
legality of the appointment, okay. And this court, in its order dated 21/2/2023, has mentioned that the government advocate is directed to produce the relevant records.
Yes, my lord.
files.
Yes, my lord. Record, I believe they have brought.
Is it there? The records, are they available?
No, record is not with me, but the Lordship, when the petition itself, the prayer of the petitioner itself has become infructuous.
My lord, in this case,
Then
we have to approach. See, lordship, I'm sorry.
Whatever be approach, okay? We have to see
Yes,
whether your grievances can be addressed.
correct.
And your grievance, number one is what? Let's see.
To quash and set aside the appointment of private respondent 7.
Let's see, where is it?
Page 11, my lord. 1. May I read, my lord?
Yes.
Yes. Quash.
Okay. Now, supposing,
Yes.
just presuming that
Yes.
it is squashed, then what happens? What will happen when she has already resigned?
I'll come to that. I have filed affidavit on Friday saying that he is not out. Government has issued an order that his post is kept in abeyance till final judgment of this court. I have filed affidavit, my lord.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying not out. Abeyance means what, my lord? Is suspension only. It is not fully terminated, not fully removed. Government said,
You have filed an affidavit.
I have filed, my lord. On
Is there a
Friday.
reply
We
to
have
that?
served copy also.
Is there a reply to that?
No.
Then I think you reply to that additional affidavit and your submission that she has she has left the post, whatever. Also, let it all be in a form of an affidavit because I think it's only verbally that you have mentioned that. Okay. So in reply to the additional affidavit, you file a response in a form of an affidavit. Okay?
The order,
Yes.
I'll just read what
Yes,
the
yes,
sentence.
yes.
Order, which I have filed. However, all other cases are extended. But in this case, however, the service extension of serial number 4, Dr. Yongpa Chingmak, consultant health and nutrition, is kept in abeyance till the final judgment of this court. I have filed this affidavit.
Okay, so a copy of the affidavit, if it's been received, please respond to that in form of an affidavit. Okay.
They have
And
the
then we'll
record.
fix
They are not willing
another
to
date.
produce.
And in the meantime, produce the records also because it's direction of this court. And then maybe in the next date, the matter can be heard fully. Okay. So, heard Mr.
Ejo, my lord. Mr.
Eazo,
Ejo.
My
learned
lord.
counsel for the petitioner,
My
along
lord,
with.
if I may.
Yes.
I am for the respondent number 7, the
Yes.
private respondent. I have filed my preliminary objection.
Yes. So in the next date, we will consider all that. Okay, additional affidavit has been filed also. Please
He has
respond to
filed,
that.
I believe, my lord.
I have filed against his preliminary objection also.
Yes.
His main preliminary objection that he is out from service. Therefore, petition is infractors. I said no.
I have raised 3 or 4 grounds
Mhm.
in my preliminary objections.
Mhm.
Now, my lord, when a preliminary objection is raised, only if the petitioner is able to overcome the same, the objections that I have raised, only then I have categorically stated in my preliminary objection affidavit that I reserve my right to reply in parawise to the
Okay.
writ
Yes,
petition.
yes.
Now, till now, my lord, as per the law laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court reported in 2003, 7 SCC 498, I have given my book list. When preliminary objections are raised, those objections must be heard first, my lord. And only if, my lord, if the court is not satisfied with the objections raised, and if the petitioner is able to overcome those preliminary objections, then we may move further.
But your main objection is that she has left the post, isn't it?
He has left the post. One.
Yes, that
2
is-
disputed question of facts have been raised.
There's no disputed question of facts. They have admitted that he did not apply.
We'll have to see from the case record. So, not this thing, the files from the directorate, I think that needs to be produced.
That will suffice.
If question of facts is also an issue,
Thirdly-
then on that day itself,
Yes.
if the records are placed from the directorate,
Yes.
okay, then you can look at the facts also, isn't it?
Very much.
So today we will not proceed any further because it's good. We still need the file to be
My
here.
lord, my lord.
We'll fix another date where all those things should be there, and then then we'll have a look at the matter. Okay, so heard Mr.
Ajo.
Azo, learned counsel for the petitioner, along with Mr.
Sentianger.
Sentia Yagar,
Yes.
learned counsel for respondent number 7, and
Who are entered for respondents 1 to 3.
yes, for
Respondents 1 to 3 and Apila Sanctum for respondents 4, 5, and 6.
okay, please note, okay, those who are present for the respondents. It is seen from this court's order dated
21 February
21 February
2023.
2023 that the learned government advocate is to produce the relevant records / file from the Directorate of Social Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima. However, it is seen that the said records / file is not produced till date. The learned counsel for respondent number 7 also mentions that his affidavit with regards to the preliminary objection needs to be considered before proceeding further. In view of the above, this court finds it fit that this matter may be listed on another date, and the learned government advocate is to ensure that the relevant records / file from the Directorate of Social Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima, is produced on the next date. In view of the above, list this matter after 1 week?
3
2
weeks, ma.
3 weeks?
Yes, my lord.
3 weeks is too long, my lord.
Okay, whatever has to happen has already happened. List this matter after 3 weeks.
Deeply obliged.
Much obliged.
For admission, item number 6.
May I please, your lordship. Lordship, here, the counsel for respond number 5, he has withdrawn his wakalatnama on 6/9/2022, your lordship.
Respondent number?
Respond number 5, lordship. That is the
Who is 5? BSNL.
BSNL, so lordship. So, lordship, when the matter was listed on the last occasion, this court directed me to inform the newly engaged counsel, your lordship, about the matter. I did, your lordship, but today he has not appeared. Now, it appears from the court list that he has filed a letter of absence, your lordship.
Okay.
YP Gupta, Mr. YP Gupta, your lordship. He's a newly engaged counsel, standing
Then we'll
counsel.
fix another date, isn't it? Because we'll have to give them a chance also.
Yes, your lordship. So let it be listed on 15, my lord.
Yes, heard Miss
Esther, your lordship.
Esther, learned counsel for the petitioner. who mentions that the newly engaged counsel for respondent number 5,
Mr. Y.P. Gupta.
Mr. Y.P. Gupta, has taken leave of absence. In view of the above, list this matter after.
On 15, Your Lordship.
Okay, in
15
view of the above, as prayed for by the learned counsel for the petitioner, list this matter on 15th 5/2023.
Much obliged.
Much obliged.
For admission, item number 8.
Please, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Your Lordship, in this petition, the petitioner is asking for extension of service. Your Lordship, the
Yes.
petitioner was serving as a medical attendant under sub-center Chekie. Lordship, a similarly situated person, the service of a similarly situated person has been extended. In fact, after extension again, has been appointed in the nature of a regular appointment, whereas in the case of the petitioner, Lordship, it is a fact that service extension in Nagaland, it doesn't come on time. Sometimes after almost a lapse of a year that the service is extended. Now going through the government's affidavit, it's a little disheartening, I will point out, Lordship. But now, Lordship, the land where the sub-center at Chegi is constituted, Lordship, actually it is the land of the petitioners, but there is no doubt, there is no denial that the land was bought by the government. So appointment was not made on the basis of land ownership, but in the spirit of consideration that the land where the sub-center is constructed is originally the land of the petitioner's family. That is why on that consideration she was appointed on contingency basis. Now, Lordship, even without the extension of service, she risked her life at the peak COVID situation, Lordship, in the state and in fact in the country and the world as a whole. She risked her life by performing her duties as was required and summoned by the Chief Medical Officer of Dimapur, Lordship. Now, Lordship, after filing this petition, there has been some development where the government has asked whether the CMO has the authority to allow her to continue in service or not, where the CMO could not give any befitting reply as such. But it is a fact that she was continuously working, which by the letter of the CMO itself is explained. The main catch line in this case for your Lordship's consideration is, Lordship, a similarly situated person has been extended in service. So, my Lord, may kindly allow me to take your
Yes.
Lordship to the facts of the case.
Yes.
May I take your Lordship to
Yes.
page 14? That is the initial appointment order.
Hmm. Hmm.
May I read your Lordship?
Yes.
This is 2010. In the interest of public service, Srimati Hokali Jimo is hereby temporarily appointed as medical attendant on contingency basis at Chekia Sub-Center under the establishment of Chief Medical Officer Dimapur with a fixed pay of so-and-so per month for a period of 1 year with immediate effect. And Lordship, extension was going on. In the meantime, there are certain letters which is annexed to the petition. May I take your Lordship to the type copy which is at page 16, letter from the village council. May I read your Lordship? This is letter dated 17/5/2011 to the Principal Director, Health and Family Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima, through proper channel, subject prayer for regularization of posts in respect of Srimati Hokali Jimo, appointed on contingency basis as medical attendant at Chegia Village Sub-Center. Sir, on the subject cited above, I have the honor to state that Srimati Hokali Jimo, medical attendant appointed on contingency basis via order number such and such, dated Kohima the 9th July 2009, has been serving the department sincerely and efficiently. It may be pertinent to note that the incumbent was the owner of the land which was purchased by the village authority for the purpose of setting up medical sub-center in the village, and thus assuring her of the privilege. There was an assurance to accommodate her for appointment, Your Lordship. In this regard, the then head GB of Chegye village, late Sri Y. Chegye Jimo, had strongly recommended for her appointment. In view of the above, I request your high authority to kindly regularize the post of Srimati Hukali Jimo, medical attendant at Sub-Center Chegye village, as the case deserves. This is Toyo Yapto, Chairman. Your Lordship, the last extension order that was given to the petitioner is at page 17, Annexure C, Your Lordship. May I take Your Lordship to the next
Yes.
page, that is the typed copy. Order dated Kohima, the 14th October 2016, from the Directorate of Health and Medical Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima. In pursuance of the government approval letter number such and such, dated Kohima, the 28th September 2016, the contingency service in respect of following incumbents under the establishment of the Chief Medical Officer, Dimapur, are hereby extended for a period of 1 year with immediate effect from 2/4/2016 to 31/3/2017, with 1 day break of service on 1/4/2016 in a fixed pay of rupees 3,000 per month. Further extension of service is subject to the performance of the individual and as per a requirement of the department. This appointment does not guarantee for extension of service in future, neither the right for claim of seniority/regularization. The name of the petitioner is at serial number 9, Your Lordship. Now may I take Your Lordship again to the next page, Annexure D, page 19. This is letter dated 28 May 2020 to the Principal Director, Health and Family Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima, subject forwarding of application for extension of service and in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo, medical attendant, Chegye Sub-Center, Dimapur. Sir, with reference to the subject cited above, I have the honor to forward herewith an application received from Srimati Hukali Jimo, Chegye Sub-Center, under the establishment of Chief Medical Officer, who is requesting for extension of her ad hoc service, which is self-explanatory, along with recommendation from GB Chegye village. This is for your kind information and necessary action. Then the next annexure, Your Lordship, at page 20 onwards, my Lord will see the pictures during while performing duty during COVID-19. Next page is her ID card, annexure F. Then may I take Your Lordship to the next page, page 22, annexure G. This is the similarly situated person that I'm talking about. This is dated Kohima, the 25th June 2020, to the Principal Director, Health and Family Welfare Department, subject government approval for extension of service. So I'm directed to refer to your letter number such and such, dated 5th August 2019, and to convey the approval of the government for extension the service of Srimati Asangla Sangtam, medical attendant ad hoc, sub-centers Sangtam Tila under CMO Dimapur, with effect from 2/4/2016 to 31/3/2021, with 1 day break of service, a break of every financial year. This has the approval of such and such. Then, Your Lordship, the next page is the representation.
Yes, 2020.
Yes, Your Lordship. This is the representation. And after this, we approach this Honorable Court. Now, this Honorable Court's order is at page 25, annexure I.
Yes.
Now, Your Lordship will see that. May I take Your Lordship to page 26? Starting from the second paragraph, the middle paragraph. The Health and Family Welfare Department, under the signature of Joint Secretary to the Government of Nagaland, has considered such case contained in letter number such and such 25/6/2020 approving the extension of service of Srimati Asangla Sangtam, medical attendant at Hawk Subcenter Sangtam Tila under CMO Dimapur with effect from 2/4/2016 to 31/3/2021 with 1 day break of every financial year. It is a prayer of the petitioner that equal treatment be given to her. Furthermore, the petitioner was requisitioned for emergency medical team under the Chief Medical Officer Dimapur during the pandemic period, and she has been continuously serving in Cheke Village Subcenter till date. Annexure E is the pictorial image of the petitioner attending duty with the doctors during the pandemic period. For all the above cited reasons, the petitioner has prayed for her representation may be considered. Ms. Such and such, learned government advocate appearing for the state respondents, submits that notice may be issued at this stage. However, on scrutiny of the document that are furnished before this court, it would be in the interest of justice to give a direction at the motion stage, considering that the case of similarly situated persons have been considered by the department, and also considering that the government has already requisitioned the service of the petitioner even during pandemic period, which only signifies that the government is in need of her service and has been utilizing a service. Furthermore, the chairman of the village council has also written to the principal director, Health and Family Welfare Department, that the petitioner has been serving the department in the village sincerely and continuously, and that her appointment may be considered on the ground of land ownership. In the light of the above facts and circumstances, the respondents number 1 and 2 are directed to examine the case of the petitioner in terms of the facts enumerated above and dispose of the representation dated 17/7/2020, filed by the petitioner within a period of 2 months from the date of receipt of a certified copy of this order. Now, Lordship, after this, her representation was not considered. So another letter, in fact, a reminder letter from her counsel was again sent. And after that, even after that, her case was not considered, for which we have to come back here. Now, my lord, may kindly come to annexure K, page 30.
Okay.
May I read, your
Yes.
lordship? This is letter dated Kohima, 17 December 2020, to the Chief Medical Officer to verify record in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo MHA Sub-Center. With reference to the subject cited above, I am to request you to kindly ascertain the following and submit a mention the report as shown below. Whereas Srimati Hukali Jimo MA, medical attendant, has applied for extension of a service of the last extension order 14/10/2016, submit date in detail. 2. Whereas Srimati Hukali Jimo, medical attendant, was attending the office after the last extension of a service, submit in detail along with the original attendance sheet. How and on what ground your office utilized her service during COVID-19 when her service was not extended, submit in detail. Therefore, in this regard, you are requested to treat this matter as most urgent and submit the detailed verification report within 10 days as it is pertaining to the court case in WBC number 110 K 2020 dated 15/9/2020. Now, your lordship may kindly
What
come
is
to
the
the next
reply?
page.
Yes.
This is a reply from the Chief Medical Officer, Office, Dimapur, Nagaland, letter dated 18/12/2020. To the Principal Director, Directorate of Health and Family Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima. Subject submission of verification report in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo MHA Sub-Center. Sir, with reference to your letter number such and such dated Kohima, 17 December 2020, I have the honor to submit a verification report in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo, medical attendant, Chegya Sub-Center under your 3-point query. 1. That Srimati Hukali Jimo MA has applied for extension of service after the last order dated 15/10/2016. She actually applied, but the government affidavit says otherwise, which I will take your lordship later. Number 2, your lordship, that Srimati Hukali Jimo MA has been attending duty till date, enclosed photocopy of attendance sheet. Then number 3, enclosed photocopy of duty report of Hukali Jimo MA, that is the duty during the COVID period. Then your lordship may kindly come to the next page. This is from the Urban Health Committee, the report from the letter from the Urban Health Committee. May I read, Your Lordship? To the Chief Medical Officer, Dimapur, Nagaland, this is letter dated 23rd February 2021. Subject, verification of report of duty. Sir, Madam, with regard to the subject cited above, we'd like to state that Srimati Hukali Jimo has been working with us as medical attendant at Czech Sub-Center since 2010. Though her work was not materialized and was not given an extension thereafter from 2017 to 2021, but she has been working consistently and assisted with every aspect in our department as an effective contributor and attending her duty devotedly. With solely guarantee that with her commendable work ethic, it will be a great assist in our department. It is our hope that this verification letter will assist her to obtain a position. Then, Your Lordship, it is the same letter. Oh, another letter was again sent to the CMO Dimapur. May I read, Your Lordship? That is
Yes.
page number 33. This is a letter addressed to the Chief Medical Officer, Dimapur, Nagaland, dated Kohima, the 24th February 2021. Subject, submission of verification report in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo MA Czechia Sub-Center. Madam, I am to invite a reference to your letter number such and such, dated Dimapur, the 18/12/2020, on the subject cited above, and to direct you to give justification on what ground the services of Srimati Hukali Jimo medical attendant at Czechia Sub-Center was utilized when her service was not extended by the government. This matter may be treated as most urgent and submit a detailed report within 10 days, such and such. Now, this question, Your Lordship, will practically, on the basis of hierarchy, Your Lordship fully understands that when such a question is put forward to a junior officer, what reply is to be expected? Now, going by the entire records, that she's a sincere government servant, she has been attending to her duties diligently, and her service was required. There was shortage of manpower everywhere around the world, including the country, and Nagaland is not an exception, Your Lordship. Her services were utilized at the most dangerous period when the entire human race was in a perilous situation, Your Lordship. After that, when things cooled down, the government not only refused to extend her service, but has also given remarks and observations which are not pleasant, Your Lordship.
Anyway, what was the reply to this?
Now-
Is there a reply?
There is a reply which is at page 35. Now, this reply, Your Lordship, to the director's letter, that is at page 34, Your Lordship.
Yes,
Page 34, Annexure O.
yes.
This is letter dated 5th of March 2021. To the Principal Director, Directorate of Health and Family Welfare, Nagaland, Kohima. Subject, regarding submission of verification report in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo medical attendant, Czechia Sub-Center. Sir, with reference to your letter, number such and such, dated Kohima, the 24th February 2021, I have the honor to submit the verification report in respect of Srimati Hukali Jimo medical attendant, Czechia Sub-Center, and point number 3, white letter number such and such, dated Kohima, the 17th December 2020. That one, due to shortage of frontline health workers, Your Lordship may kindly appreciate this. Due to shortage of frontline health workers during the COVID-19 pandemic, Srimati Hukali Jimo service was utilized under Czechia Sub-Center. 2, Czechia village being a huge area to cover and without enough manpower to manage, Srimati Hukali Jimo has been assisting in her duty for the department. However, Your Lordship may kindly come to page 35, that is Annexure P. This is the reply to the representation from the Directorate of Health and Family Welfare. May I read, Your Lordship?
Yes.
This is letter dated Kohima, 8 March 2021 to MS Hukali Jimo, Czechia village, Dimapur, District Dimapur, Nagaland, representation dated 17/7/2020. Subject, reply to your representation dated 17/7/2020. Madam, the department is in receipt of your representation dated 17/7/2020 with regard to your extension of service as medical attendant, and Honorable High Court order dated 15/9/2020, passed in WPC number 110K 2020 to consider your representation. On receipt of the Honorable High Court order dated 15/9/2020, the department, on examination of the records and on clarification from the Office of the Chief Medical Officer, Dimapur, the following facts have been brought to the notice of the office, which is summarized as below. One, that you were appointed as medical attendant on contingency basis at Chegya Subcenter, Dimapur, under the establishment of CMO Dimapur for a period of 1 year. Two, that your service was extended from time to time till your last extension order dated 14/10/2016, which expired on 31/3/2017, as admitted by you in your petition before the Honorable High Court. Three, that as per the available records of the department, you have never applied for extension of your service in time after the expiry of your last extension order dated 14/10/2016, because of the fact that on receipt of the application for extension of service from the employees, the department had compiled the application and by letter dated 18/7/2017, copy enclosed, had forwarded to the government for approval of extension. This is a pure made-up lie, Your Lordship. In the state letter, your name did not appear as you have not submitted your application for extension. It appears from the record of the department that you have applied for extension in the month of December 2017. So this may kindly be noted, Your Lordship.
Yes, so can we
Yes.
see this? Can we check this from your applications?
No, Lordship. See, normally what happens,
Uh-huh.
the public, they are not lawyers, so they don't keep their personal copy. They submit it. They write for extension, they submit it. It's in the
Okay.
office, which the CMO office actually confirms that she submitted.
Mm.
So may I read further, Your Lordship? It appears from the record of the department that you have applied for extension in the month of December 2017 through the CMO, which was forwarded to the department by letter dated 18/12/2017. Now, there is a contradiction between the starting part of the paragraph and this, Your Lordship. By the time your application for extension was received, the government had already approved for extension of service of the employees. Now, the first part says it was applied in 2020. The second part says that by the time it reached the office, extension was already taken care of. Your service has not been extended by the government. But already approved the extension of service of the employees, and your name was left out as you had not applied in time. That's the excuse, Your Lordship. Then the next paragraph 4, Your Lordship, that since 2017 till date, your service has not been extended by the government. It is deemed that you are no longer in service as there was a gap of more than 3 years since your last extension order. As such, your application for extension of service submitted to the office in 2020 cannot be accepted. That the department-wide letter dated 17/12/2020, copy enclosed, had written to the CMO to clarify/verify the records in respect of his service. By letter dated 18/12/2020, copy enclosed, the CMO replied that you have applied for extension after your last extension order dated 15/10/2016, but no mention was made about extension being granted to you. Further, by letter dated 24/2/2021, copy enclosed, the department wrote to the CMO to give justification on what ground your service was utilized. When your service was not extended by the government, by letter dated 1/3/2021, the CMO wrote to the department wherein the office could not give any justification as to the clarification sought by the department. And as such, since there was no extension of your service since your last extension order, the department cannot at this stage grant you extension, as your case has to be taken up as fresh appointment and not extension. That your claim that you have been appointed as medical attendant on the basis of land ownership is disputed for a fact that as per a letter dated 17/5/2011, it appears that your family was the landowner at one point of time. However, it has been admitted by the village council, Chegya village, that your family's land was purchased by the village authority for the purpose of setting up the medical center. As such, your claim on land ownership basis cannot be accepted by the government. Where on this ground, Your Lordship, even the petitioner is not
You're not
aggrieved.
pressing on that point,
Yes,
huh?
we're not aggrieved because the land was sold, but at least the spirit, the consideration was there, Your Lordship. Paragraph 7, that your claim in your representation that one Miss Asangla Sangtam, who is similarly situated with you, have been given extension till 31/3/2021, is denied for the fact that Though her recommendation was given for extension, her extension of service was not accepted by the department, and she was never given extension after her last extension order. There was a fresh appointment given to her, which I have annexed. They even hid that fact in this reply, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Then it was only after applying RTI application that we found it, Your Lordship. Your Lordship will see the RTI application at page 37, Annexure Q. With regard to one Srimati Asangla Sanctum, then only after the application of RTI was submitted that we got her appointment, which is at page 39, Annexure S, Your Lordship. May I read, Your Lordship?
Yes.
This is order dated 30th June 2021. In pursuance of the Government of Nagaland Department of Health and Family Welfare approval letter number such and such, dated Kohima, 25th June 2020, Srimati Asangla Sanctum is hereby reappointed to the post of medical attendant at Sanctum Tila Sub-Center under the establishment of the Chief Medical Officer Dimapur for a period of 1 year with effect from such and such in the scale pay of 818 such and such, plus all other allowances as are admissible under the rules from time to time in Nagaland. Further extension of service is subject to performance of the individual and as per requirement of the department. This appointment does not guarantee for extension of service in future, neither a right to claim seniority or regularization. Anyhow, Your Lordship, her service was extended in a way of fresh appointment. And as far as the extension of service is concerned, Your Lordship, when there is a continuity of service, there is no law that says that service cannot be extended after a limited period. In fact, she submitted her letter for extension of service, but it is the department who had not considered her extension. Now they have come back, they've turned around to say that because her representation was received late, by the time the extension of others' service was already taken care of. But in the first part of paragraph 3 of the reply, Your Lordship has clearly seen that they said her letter for extension of service was replied only in 2020. Whereas in the later part of the paragraph, they said that it was received in 2017, but it was late. And some other persons whose service was to be extended was already considered. How can that be an excuse? Because there's no hard and fast rule that all the letter for extension of service has to come in one bulk. It can be taken care of separately also, Your Lordship. Now, before I conclude my submission, may I take Your Lordship to the paragraph 10 of the State Respondent's Affidavit.
Yes.
The paragraph 10, which is at page 5. May I read, Your Lordship?
Yes.
That with regard to the statement made at paragraph 16 of the writ petition, the answering deponent humbly states that Srimati Asangla Sanctum was reappointed to the post of medical attendant ad hoc at Sanctum Tila Sub-Center under the establishment of Chief Medical Officer Dimapur. The said reappointment was considered because of the fact that she has submitted her extension application in due course of time. However, due to some lapse, her application was misplaced in the office of CMO Dimapur. Now, how is that different from the case of the petitioner? When her letter actually reached the directorate and the other person's letter for extension of service was misplaced. It is also stated that her case was considered on the basis of land ownership. Now in Sanctum Tila also it's a similarly situated case where the land is bought by the government, Your Lordship. So if the similarly situated person can be considered on the basis of land ownership, then what different yardstick has to be applied in the case of the petitioner, Your Lordship?
Yes.
So since they are similarly situated and even the basis of the so-called land ownership or how the documents were retrieved after many years, the case, it falls on the same parlance, but different yardstick has been applied. So my Lord, it is my humble prayer that the service of the petitioner may also be considered similarly
Yes.
like the case of a
Yes.
similarly situated person, and that is my humble submission, Your Lordship.
Okay. Yes.
Lordship, I want to rely on my affidavit in opposition in paragraph 4, 5, and 6, Lordship. If I may be allowed to read, Lordship.
Yes.
Paragraph number 4, page 2. That with regard to the statements made in paragraph 2 and 3 of the writ petition, the answering deponent offers no comment which are borne by the records. However, reiterates the statements made in the preceding paragraphs and further states that the petitioner has been appointed on the basis of land ownership indisputed for the fact that, as per the letter dated such and such, that though initially the land was owned by the petitioner's family, however, it has been admitted by the village council Chekhe village that the land has been purchased by the village authority for the purpose of setting up the medical center. As such, at this stage, the department cannot consider the petitioner for appointment on the basis of land ownership. Paragraph 5. That with regard to the statements made in paragraph 4 and 5 of the writ petition, the answering deponent humbly state that the petitioner's last service extension was issued via common order dated 14/10/2016 till 31st/03/2017 under the establishment of CMO Timapur under the condition that further extension of service shall be subject to performance of the individual and as per requirement of the department. This appointment does not guarantee for extension of service in future, neither the right for claim of seniority or regularization. The appointment is purely on contingency basis and may be terminated with 1 month's notice from either side. It is evident from the records available in the department that the petitioner has never applied for her service extension after the expiry of her last extension order dated such and such. It is also to mention that the petitioner application was submitted after the government had already approved the extension of service of the other employees. Hence, it is evident that the petitioner has submitted her service extension application after a lapse of 3 years, which clearly indicates that the state government has not extended and or considered the petitioner's application for extension of service after the petitioner's last extension order dated 14/10/2016. As such, the petitioner application for service extension submitted to the department in the year 2020 cannot be accepted. Page 4, paragraph 6, Lordship. That with regard to the statement made in paragraph 6 of the writ petition, the answering deponent humbly states that the department via letter dated 17/12/2020 had written to the CMO Timapur to verify the service records of the petitioner. In this regard, the CMO Timapur via letter dated 18/12/2020 ascertained that after the petitioner's last service extension dated 14/10/2016 has applied for extension. However, no mention has been made about extension of the petitioner's service. Further, via letter dated 24/02/2021, the CMO Timapur was requested to provide justification on what ground the petitioner's service was utilized during COVID-19 when the petitioner's service is no longer extended by the state government, wherein the CMO Timapur was unable to give any justification as to the clarification sought by the department. All the while, after last extension order expired, she was serving without any extension order. As such, at this stage, since there was no extension granted to the petitioner after her last extension order dated 14/10/2016, the department cannot consider the petitioners for service extension, Lordship.
Okay. Is that all?
Lordship.
So, having heard the submissions of both the parties,
Your Lordship, may I
yes,
please
yes,
be allowed to read my prayer?
okay,
Because
fine.
I wanted to conclude with my prayer.
Which you did not. Yes.
Page 12 of my writ petition, Your Lordship. My Lord has fully heard the matter where there is contradiction on the part of the state respondents, respectfully, Your Lordship. Now, the prayer which is at page 12, prayer A is to direct the state respondents to pay the salary of the petitioner for the services utilized. Then B is to direct the state respondents to reappoint the petitioner to the same post of medical attendant Chekia Sub-Center under CMO Dimapur by applying the same yardstick as was applied to a similarly situated person, as reflected in Annexure P, page 35 and 36 of the writ petition, or even extension also. I'm not aggrieved by both the consideration by the state respondents, but when a similarly situated person has already received the benefit, I should also receive the same benefit. That's my limited prayer, Your Lordship.
Okay, having heard the submissions made by both the parties, Your submissions will be recorded accordingly. I have noticed in the affidavit filed by the state respondents, if you come to page 4, okay, where it says that that notice has to be given, isn't it? 1 month's notice.
Lordship.
So 1 month's notice obviously was not given to the petitioner also. Either side will have to give if there's going to be termination.
Oh, yes,
But
yes,
1
Your
month's
Lordship.
notice was not given. Okay. So in view of that, when notice was not given regarding the termination of her services, she had obviously continued her services, isn't it, working? And it has
Your
been
Lordship.
clarified by the chief medical officer that her services were required. Okay. And in the appointment also, it is mentioned that the performance of the individual will be considered. Her performance, obviously, there's no adverse remark. Okay. And it has been clarified that her services are required. On those basis, there are good grounds for continuing or extension of her services. Besides that also, that notice, that is in page 3, okay, has to be served. So in the absence of any notice and the fact that it has been clarified that her services are required and therefore she has been serving, okay, till date. Obviously, if she has been serving the government, she is entitled to her pay. Okay, so in view of the above observations, which I'll be recording later, the writ petition is allowed,
No, bless Your
and
Lordship.
she will, the government will be is directed, in fact, to extend her services. And areas of pay as what the services which she had given will have to be paid.
Highly
Yes.
bless Your Lordship.
EC is disposed.
Lordship.
For admission, item number 9 to 19.
May it please Your Lordship. The petitioners are all part-time instructors. They were serving as part-time instructors. Your Lordship, the gist of the case is like this. Initially, these part-time instructors who were continuing in service, but their service was not extended, they came before this Honorable Court for payment of the salaries for the period they were serving, as well as for extension of their service. Now, Your Lordship, in the course of the proceedings before this Honorable Court, what happened is a letter was produced before this Honorable Court saying that the fund meant for meeting the salaries of the part-time instructors was discontinued. Now, this Honorable Court was misled. A coordinate bench of this Honorable Court was misled to believe that funds have discontinued, on the basis of which there was a direction to release their salaries for the period they had served, but their service was discontinued. Lordship, what happened
Where is
is
that? Where's that?
the earlier order.
Yes.
See the petition.
Okay.
Oh, Your Lordship, this is at page 154 to 166.
Okay, and the WPC was disposed. That means it's a different WPC. Is it?
Yes, that is
Okay, not in this.
yes, Your Lordship.
Okay, fine.
Now, Your Lordship, what happened is this Honorable Court was misled to believe that the fund was actually discontinued. This centrally sponsored scheme appointments are co-terminus with the scheme. This is co-terminus with the scheme, Your Lordship. Now, after their service was discontinued, the petitioners, they were doubtful that their funds are still available. So they applied the RTI application. After the RTI application was submitted, it is found that till today, as I submit before this Honorable Court, till today, their salary components are still being sent by the central government. So, Your Lordship, here the prayer is for the extension of service as well as for paying them the salaries for the amounts that has been released, because the same was by misleading this Honorable Court that the state respondents got the benefit and the services of the petitioners were not extended. It is by way of cheating, Your Lordship, as well as a prayer to conduct investigation, a special investigation or commission may be set up by this Honorable Court to investigate into the lapses.
Where's the RTI reply? You're saying by way of an RTI. Where's the RTI reply?
Yes, Your Lordship. RTI reply is at page, annexure 32,
Page
167. May I read, Your Lordship? This is Nagaland Education Mission Society, Samagra Shiksha, Nagaland, dated Kohima, the 19th March 2021. To Sri Magashato H. Asmi, President ANPTI SSA, DKL Kohima Village, such and such. Subject RTI reply. Sir, kindly find here with the reply to RTI submitted dated 11/2/2021. The reply refers to serial numbers 4, 5, and 6 from Samagra Shiksha, Nagaland. Query number 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9 referred to Directorate of School Education, transfer of RTI to Directorate of School Education, copy enclosed for reference. Then, if Your Lordship comes to the next page, annexure 33, this is PAB, that is the Project Approval Board. Shastri Bhavan, New Delhi, 10 July 2019. Subject, minutes of the meeting of the period Project Approval Board PAB held on 7th May 2019 to consider the annual work plan and budget AWP and B 2019-20 of Samagra Shiksha for the state of Nagaland. The meeting of Project Approval Board for considering the annual work plan budget AWP and B 2019-20 and the Samagra Shiksha for the state of Nagaland was held on 7 May 2019. Copy of the minutes in respect of Nagaland enclosed. Now, may I take Your Lordship to the relevant paragraphs? The relevant pages. May I take Your Lordship to page 216. 216.
Yes.
The second table, there are three tables. The middle one. As we read down, can Your Lordship see upper primary teachers, contractual elementary?
Yes.
Just below that, art education, part-time instructors. Part-time instructors, health and physical education, part-time instructors, any other part-time instructors. So, Your Lordship, the salary components of the part-time instructors is for 633 total numbers here as far as this here is concerned, Your Lordship.
Where's that 633?
211 plus 211 plus 211. This is the physical teachers, the total. Against all the art education part-time instructors, 211.
The total is 531.
No, 633. Or 531, but that is not for the,
531 is
that
the
is to do
total.
with money. That is money.
Okay, then where's the other 600 and where are you reading from?
Your Lordship will see art education part-time instructors, the next column, 211. Health and physical education part-time instructors,
Okay, so
211.
when you add this, 211,
Yes.
211, 211, is it? When
Yes,
you
Your
add
Lordship.
these three, it comes to 633. Okay.
Yes, Your Lordship.
So the figure is not there.
Yes, just,
Addition of these.
yes, Your Lordship. Now, Your Lordship, there are two possibilities in this case, Your Lordship. If we have to consider the Section 75 of the CPC, read with, I believe it's Order 20. Now, the Honorable Court can set up a commission also to inquire on its own also to see how the fund, because I'm alleging that it has been misappropriated. And when the fund has actually been sent to the state, clearly, if the persons for whom the fund has been released has not been given to them, there surely will be misappropriation. So at this stage, Your Lordship, either we continue with the detailed hearing, or my Lord can even issue a direction to the, my Lord can even set up a commission to inquire into this matter, even though my prayer is for an independent agency to come and inquire into this case, to see the to check out the misappropriations.
We'll have to see whether there's actually a misappropriate, because this is the minutes of the meeting of the central government, isn't it?
Yes, and the fund has been accordingly released.
Is there, where's that release of the funds? Some sanction order. This is an approval concerning the minutes of the meeting.
Yes.
Then what happened after that? Steps taken by the central government? This is just the minutes of the meeting.
Yes, and the respondents also, they have not denied. In their affidavit, they have not denied that the fund has
Wait,
not been
wait.
released.
Who is appearing for the central government?
Lordship, I'm appearing for the respondent number 3.
Respond number
who
3
the
is?
Nagaland Education
Okay,
Mission
for the-
Society, in
yes.
short, NIMS.
Yes.
And NIMS is the implementing agency.
Yes.
And the lead petitioner, they have tried to project the case in such a way that there is misappropriation of fund which has been received from the ministry. That is absolutely wild imagination, Lordship, because I will show from record how the fund has been utilized. And the entire writ petition, there are 5 prayers. Out of the 5 prayers, not even a single prayer can be granted by this honorable court. So, Lordship, my learned friend has been prompted a suggestion that whether it should be, the chief secretary should be directed to conduct an inquiry, or we should go for a full hearing. Lordship, even the first prayer for conducting an inquiry by the chief
You see,
secretary.
Initially, this is the minutes of the meeting, okay, which says this amount has been approved for the state of Nagaland, that you have shown.
Yes.
Now, simply a minutes of the meeting, whether the money has been sanctioned, what are the further steps taken by the state in pursuant of the minutes of the meeting, that we need to have it here, or if we don't have it in document, at least the central government.
Not the central government, Your Lordship.
Has there been made a
Yes.
party? Are they here? Are they
No, Your
They are
Lordship.
not made
No.
a party, Lordship.
They are not made a party, Your Lordship.
If you are pointing out to minutes of the meeting which has been made by the state, the central government, then the central government, okay, whatever your apprehensions are that there is misappropriation, then the central government will also have to, because you are in the state level. Now, the central government, in pursuant of these minutes of the meeting, what are the steps taken,
Yes, Lordship, I
etc.,
will try
is
to,
required.
I will try to
Yes.
show that.
Yes, okay.
Now, my learned friend has just started with the diversion of fund, the issue of diversion of fund. How they are engaged and what is the status, what is the composition of the Samakra Shiksha, because they are engaged as part-time instructors under Samakra Shiksha. So I may be allowed to submit a brief background, what is Samakra Shiksha, how it is functioning, what is the organs. Unless we understand that, it will be difficult to go into the diversion of fund and then how they are engaged, all this. Lordship.
I respectfully disagree, Your
Wait,
Lordship.
wait. I have this thing, but there was a writ petition which was filed earlier.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, that writ petition, which was filed earlier, was disposed.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't think we have to go into the nitty-gritties of the facts of the case, because I
Correct,
think that has
correct.
been dealt
Absolutely,
with
Lordship.
by the previous writ petition.
Lordship.
Now, this writ petition where the petitioners have again approached this court is because, in spite of whatever had happened before, now there's an extension where funds have again been released, it appears, as per the minutes, okay, as per the minutes. Okay. But I find at this stage that unless the central government, that is Department of School Education and Literacy, okay, unless the government of India is also made a party, they will have to explain this, that the minutes, they have said that certain amount of fund has also been released. What happened? What is going on? Unless they are also made pleaded as a party, can we actually look
We
into
have
the
already
case?
enclosed in the affidavit, even that also. That is why, Lordship.
You, for the state government, have
I am
enclosed
for respondent
on
number
behalf,
3.
respondent number 3.
Yes, implementing agency. I am the main respondent.
Okay.
Because the scheme is implemented under the supervision
Okay,
of the
fine.
mission, NIMS,
Uh-huh.
Lordship.
Okay, fine.
Now, the organs, how Samakra Shiksha functions. It is functioning under a governing body
Right.
where the chief minister of the state is the chairman. And then the vice president of the governing body is the minister school education department. And then under the governing body, there is an executive committee. Executive committee is headed by the chairman is the chief secretary.
Yes.
And all the important policy decisions of Samakra Shiksha is being taken by the executive committee. But for a moment, Lordship, that is for reference, but I would like to submit orally, Lordship.
Yes.
Now, the executive meeting normally holds 2 to 3 meetings in a year. That is for making policy decisions. And the vice chairman in the executive committee is the commissioner and secretary, school education. Now, as per the guidelines of the MHRD, because the scheme is implemented under the supervision
Yes.
and guidance direction of the MHRD. Now, as per the directives of the MHRD, this Samakra Shiksha is to be made by a registered society. Accordingly, Nagaland Education Mission Society, in short, it is NIMS, has been registered under the Societies Registration Act. Under this, there is a mission director. And day-to-day activities are implemented with the supervision of the mission director. And then there is a wing in the school education department to look after the activities of the Samakra Shiksha. Now, what is the composition of Samakra Shiksha? The petitioners, the present petitioners, they were initially engaged as part-time
Part-time,
instructors
yes.
before amalgamation of Samakra Shiksha, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, that is SSA and RMSA. Now, these two organs have been amalgamated and rechristened as Samakra Shiksha. Accordingly, the activities of Samakra Shiksha, the activities of SSA and
SSA,
RMSA
yes.
has been restructured and revamped and to focus more on the development of education. Now, it has got two sections, elementary education section and also pre-primary section, that is from class 1 to class 8. And another section is secondary section, that is from class 8 to 12. In the secondary section, there are teachers, graduate teachers maths, graduate teachers science, graduate teacher English. Besides that, there are regular part-time instructors also. The present petitioners are appointed as part-time instructors, initially for a period of 6 months
Yes.
under SSA, that is before amalgamation, and their services were discontinued on 29/5/2019 due to fund constraint. Now, what is the role of the Nagaland Education Mission Society? These schemes, the schemes under Samakra Shiksha, is strictly implemented in terms of the guidelines issued by the ministry. Now, the fund is received by the society from the ministry, that is MHRD. Now, this fund is to be approved by Project Approval Board, in short PAB, Project Approval Board.
Which I have
And
shown
then
your lordship.
that approval will be sent for sanctioning to the ministry, and the ministry will sanction that amount. But many times, in almost all the cases, whatever the project approval board approves and send it to the ministry, the same amount is not sanctioned and released by the ministry. Problem lies there.
That's what I'm saying.
Petitioner
The
wants to
ministry,
show.
Have they released the money? What? So the ministry has to answer to that.
No,
isn't
we
it?
have enclosed everything.
Okay.
We have enclosed everything.
Which
Yes.
has to be accepted then. You have got a copy of what they have enclosed?
Yes, lordship,
We have
but
filed
there is no
affidavit.
clear explanation on how much amount of money has been received. So in that case, your lordship, I may be allowed to implead the ministry.
Yes, I think they
Yes, your
should be
lordship.
pleaded so they can explain.
Yes.
Because minutes of the meeting is there.
Lordship, how we
Yes.
have spent, minister will not be in a position
No,
to
your
explain
lordship,
But
lordship.
what has been released? Because
That-
you're saying
Yes.
the
We have
full,
already
yes,
enclosed those
but
funds.
you're saying the full amount is not released. Okay, so
No,
that
no,
means
that is my lordship.
Yes.
I may be allowed to make
Yes,
clarification on that.
Yes.
The whole amount has not been released. Whatever amount has been released, that is already enclosed in our affidavit.
Okay, wait. Whatever
That is what-
amount has been
yes.
released is
Yes.
enclosed in your affidavit. So
Yes.
can we see just that part in your affidavit?
Say- Huh? Starting from page 19.
Wait. Affidavit
Affidavit in opposition of respondent number 3.
Okay. Page?
May I, your lordship, just one point. Now, funds may come in a group, I mean, the total amount of the fund may be released, but there are different heads. So when the petitioners, their fund is also included, whether the NEMS is authorized with the, Are they the authority to divert the fund for other uses? In fact, that is one of the main
If
issues
at
here.
all there is diversion, let them show. This much money has been.
Oh, we have not
diverted.
been paid, Lordship, when the amount has
just,
been released.
show me the part of your affidavit which says that only this amount of fund has been received, not the whole amount.
Kindly come to page 18.
1/8.
1919, Lordship.
In fact, 18 is in my favor, Your Lordship.
Yeah, वो sanction order है क्या? Page
No,
19,
wait, this
Annexure B.
notification.
This is the sanction order sanctioned by the Government of India
Hmm.
for the year 2019-2020. Extreme right side column in course. The money which has been sanctioned is shown.
So how do we know which one is which? The whole amount?
This are the amount released.
Okay, in crores, so it is 119 crores,
Yes.
a total.
And then the following pages, following documents are the amount which has been released.
My lord will see in page 18 also that we are also included in the list.
Hmm.
Funds meant for us is also released.
So this total amount of 119 is meant for 119, page 19.
Yes.
This 119 crores is totally meant for
different activities and for which
Under the education.
for which purpose this has to be used, that is not given, but as I have submitted, the ministry issues directives which scheme to be abandoned, give a low profile, which scheme activity should be given priority.
Okay.
Those discretions are given to the discretion of the mission director, society. And that will be strictly implemented in terms of the guidelines, because guideline comes from the center from time to time to keep focused on a particular activity. So as per the directive, we have to act accordingly. Therefore, although the particular amount is sanctioned, it will be distributed depending upon the priorities of the different activities. Sometimes one activity may be.
And priority is, how is the priority made?
Page 18, Your Lordship,
Prioritization
of
is
my
made,
senior's
as I have
affidavit.
mentioned,
by the?
the hierarchy is mentioned.
Okay,
Executive
so it will be made by
Executive
the
committee will
chief
take a decision.
minister, who is the head ex officio chairman. Okay, so the governing body will list out the priority. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Your Lordship, that's misleading. How it is to be
Executive
utilized, how it is to be
Executive
utilized is at page
committee-
18.
Executive committee.
Page
will
18,
take
under
a
different
decision.
heads. My lord will see my senior's affidavit.
I'm trying to clarify, Lordship. Executive committee will take the decision giving in view of the guidelines issued by the MHRT. I have categorically stated in my affidavit also, but I will come to that later on. Now, coming to the engagement of the petitioners, can we come to page 33 of the writ petition? How they are engaged, under what condition? Page 33. I was expecting that my learned friend will start from here, because how they came to be appointed, on what condition, thereafter what has happened. But then straight away my learned friend has started with the
Investigation.
allocation of diversion of fund. So kindly come to page 33. This is the engagement order dated 25/2/2015. May I read, Lordship?
Yes.
I will read only this. In the interest of public service, Sri Kebizopi Mehta, son of so-and-so, District Kohima, he is hereby engaged as part-time health and physical education teacher on a fixed pay of 10,000 per month at Government Upper Primary School or JMS PWT under Subdivision Education Office Kohima under the following conditions. Number one, the engagement of service is purely on part-time basis and in accordance with the conditions laid down by the government-wide notification dated 15/10/2012 and the OM of event number 14/11/2014. Number two, the engagement is initially for a period of 6 months, subject to further extension. So this is one. And number four, they are appointed under SSA. This engagement is purely for a time period and liable to be terminated without prior notice and does not confer any right for regularization of service. Now, their engagement conditions are very, very clear that they are engaged as part-time instructors for a period of 6 months, subject to extension and no right for regularization. Now, their service have been extended from time to time till 2018, up to 30th June 2018. Thereafter, what happened? They approached this honorable court, as Lordship has rightly pointed out. And in that writ petition, what was their contention? What was their prayer? Their sole prayer was to pay salary till the month of June 2019, on the ground that they have already worked till June 2019, therefore their salary should be paid. That was the prayer, and in that case,
And for extension
a
of service.
categorical submission was made by the counsel. The same counsel represented the case that the petitioner do not have any other grievance except payment of salary up to June 2019. Therefore, the prayer D and E in the present writ petition to reinstate in service and to regularize and to pay salary. The question doesn't arise because now they are stopped by virtue of their submission in the earlier proceeding, where they have stated that they do not have any other grievance other than payment of salary up to June 2019. And this honorable court has made a categorical observation that they are only part-time instructors. They have no right to continue further and to insist to remain in the service. Kindly come to page 68 of the writ petition.
Before that, Your Lordship, it is misleading. It is my own petition that I filed, I moved. There was a
There
prayer
is
for
no
extension of
question
service.
of
Anyway.
My Lord
misleading.
may come to page 60 of my writ
I am
petition. This is the
referring to
letter.
Wait, let him finish
Yes,
first.
Your
Page
Lordship.
68.
I am referring to
reply
the
to
order
that.
passed
Yes.
by this honorable court.
Yes.
Lordship may kindly hear whether I am misleading or my learned friend is making a misleading submission.
Oh,
I
Your
am
Lordship,
trying
it
to-
was my prayer. It was
I'm
my
trying to
petition.
show
So how can I mislead Your
from
Lordship?
the
Anyway,
orders
let's
passed
come
by
to
this
page
honorable court.
69. Yes.
Yes,
read.
68, Lordship.
68.
Last paragraph. The paragraph starts with it is. It has been. Has Your Lordship read it?
Yes.
It has been noticed from the appointment orders of the petitioners that the petitioners were engaged only as a part-time employee at a fixed monthly emolument. If the state respondents have denied the petitioners in further extension of their employment as part-time engagement beyond 30/6/2018, write the MPO notice dated 26/6/2019, this is the MPO order, as referred to herein above, due to financial constraint. This court, in exercise of power under Article 226 of the Constitution of India, cannot trust upon the respondent authorities to engage the petitioners as part-time employee for any further period, inasmuch as the engagement of the writ petitioners as part-time employee does not confer any legally enforceable rights to the petitioners to be further continue as part-time employees with the respondent authorities. Am I misleading? I am just reading out and submitting what is there, the order passed by this Honorable Court, Lordship. Kindly come to the prayer portion, page 30 of the writ petition. What they are praying, and whether these prayers can be considered by this Honorable Court.
Yes.
Prayer A. Quash and set aside the adjournment letter dated so-and-so and falsely claiming that the salary of PTA has not been met by the project appraisal approval board outlay. This order is at page 61. In terms of the conditions laid down in their engagement order, both prayer A and B cannot be considered also. Page 61 is the order.
Your Lordship, I think the hearing, if we go on hearing in this line, then I have my very highest level of respect for my learned senior colleague. But I think today my intention was to request this Honorable Court to set up a commission to inquire into the matter. If not, if I have to go into full hearing, I will point out all the details to your Lordship.
Okay, you want to pray, see, whether to set up a commission or not.
Yes, your
Okay,
Lordship.
that issue which you have first pointed out, I think if a commission has to be appointed at all, the central government who has
Lordship.
sanctioned the amount, where you said the full amount has not been sanctioned, they, I think, need to have a voice in this matter.
Yes, your Lordship.
They will.
So let them implead the central government first, and then you'll have all the required parties present. Then we will continue with the matter.
Sir?
Yes, because this is concerning the sum, a certain amount of money which is said to have been sanctioned by the central government. Okay. And you're saying that the full amount has not been sanctioned, and then you are also saying that you have the authority as per the governing body, okay, to divert the amount as you found fit, as necessary.
It's
So-
not the question of diversion, but it's the issue of giving
Priority,
to
priority.
the prioritized
Yes.
activities.
The-
as per the
as to
guidelines
where-
issued by the MHRD.
Okay, as to where
Therefore-
the funds are to be utilized.
Yes.
Isn't it, which has been sanctioned by the central government.
Exactly, Lordship.
So let the central government also be represented.
Yes,
Because
Your
it concerns the fund which has been sanctioned by the central government.
Lordship.
My submission is,
Okay.
Lordship, if
Then
at all,
yes,
it is the bounden duty of the petitioner to project in the writ petition itself that if at all there is any diversion of fund by the mission, let them show from the petition, and if it is not shown, this honorable court cannot do fishing and roving inquiry.
but
Thirdly-
in your petition itself, have you mentioned
And-
that?
Yes, your Lordship, fund has been released against our designation
but in
PTI
your
part-time
petition-
instructors.
in your
Yes,
petition
it's-
itself, have you
it's mentioned.
mentioned that?
Fully mentioned, your Lordship. And on how the court arrived to that conclusion that our service cannot be extended is on the basis of the letters which also I have annexed, your Lordship. That observation is not blindly made out of thin air. It is because of the state saying that fund has stopped coming for the part-time instructors. For that misleading submission, only the Honorable Court gave that observation. But as we go on this line
Okay,
of
so let
argument,
you
your
submit
Lordship,
an
yes,
impleadment, this thing, application with the full address.
for
Okay,
impleading the
yes, yes.
yes, your Lordship. Okay,
The
Lord.
concerned department from the ministry.
My Lord.
Making
Lordship.
just a wild allegation without substantiated by records.
Okay, we'll have a look at that. This requires a full hearing, okay, because the allegation itself is quite serious.
For
isn't it?
non-implementation of necessary parties, the petition is liable to be dismissed. On the ground of
We'll give them a chance. Okay, yes.
non-joint
Heard,
of necessary parties.
this is from 19. 9 to 19. Heard Mr. Joshua Sikwe, learned counsel for the petitioner, along with Mr. C.T. Zamir, learned senior counsel for respondents number
3. I'm
3,
assisted
for
by
respondent number 3,
Aliba Ozakam.
assisted by
Aliba Ozukam.
Aliba Kozikam, Learned Counsel, along with Mr. N. Angami for respondents number 1 to 4. On hearing the submissions made by both the parties, this court finds that the Union of India appears to be a necessary party, and the learned counsel for the petitioner is to submit an petition for impleadment of the Union of India in the next court date. List this matter after 1 week, 2 weeks?
3 weeks, Your Lordship.
After 3 weeks. Yes.
Obliged, Your Lordship.
Wait, where's that sheet? Ah, yes.
For admission, item number 22.
May I please, Your Lordship? Lordship, I beg to mention on behalf of VGMO, Lordship. Lordship, kindly grant me 2 weeks' time.
For filing of counter affidavit, is
Lordship.
it?
Lordship,
Yes, how many times?
this may be the last chance given, and then order may be passed that in the event they don't file the affidavit on the basis of record available, the matter be disposed. It is an admitted fact, Your Lordship. It is the administration which released fund which is due to me to the private respondent.
Yes, we will give you another chance. Make sure that affidavit in opposition is filed, because this matter has been kept pending since when? Waiting for the state respondents to file their counter affidavit.
The petitioner has already lost his buildings, Your Lordship, because of the road construction. And the compensation to rebuild it at another place, it has been given over to another person.
Okay, heard Mr. Tongpok Pogener, learned counsel for the petitioner, along with Miss Esther, learned government advocate, who prays on behalf of Miss
VGMO.
VGMO, the government advocate who is appearing in this case, that further time may be given for filing of the affidavit in opposition.
Lordship, I'm for respondent number 6.
Miss?
Respondent number 6.
Your good name, please?
Ikono.
Ikono?
We have already filed our affidavit in opposition.
Makes appearance on behalf of respondent number 6. Mr. Pongkot Pongener, learned counsel for the petitioner, mentions that this matter has been kept pending, awaiting for the state respondents to file their counter affidavit, and that a final chance may be given. Having heard the submissions of both the parties, the state respondents is given a final chance for filing of their affidavit in opposition, failing which the matter will be considered as per the documents available.
Your Lordship.
List this matter after
3 weeks, Lordship.
3 weeks.
Obliged, Lordship.
Yes.
For
Your Lordship,
admission, item
in
number
this,
25.
we have just received the affidavit today only, this morning. So kindly 2 weeks' time may be granted. In the meantime, I would like to go
You're
to
appearing for the
Petitioner,
petitioner.
yes.
Okay, affidavit in reply.
Yes,
Is it? Yes. Heard Mr. Pongot Pongjener, learned counsel for the petitioner, who mentions that he has received a copy of the affidavit in opposition only this morning and prayed for time for filing of the affidavit in reply, if so advised. In view of the above, list this matter after 3 weeks.
Your Lordship.
For admission, item number 37.
Yes, who's appearing for the state? Miss, yes, government advocate, come forward. Miss
Sibongjang.
Sibongjang, learned counsel for the state respondents, have prayed for time for filing of their affidavit in opposition. Miss
S. Jelen.
S. Jelen makes appearance on behalf of the petitioner. In view of the above, list this matter after 3 weeks.
For hearing, item number 47 and 48.
Matter is called up. None appeared for the parties. List this matter after 3 weeks. Yes. Any other matter? Hmm. Okay.